Imagine a realm where land entirely gives way to water. A treacherous yet stunning expanse of marsh, mudflats, and shallow lagoons. This was the improbable birthplace of Venice, cradled by the Adriatic Sea, not on solid earth. For centuries, this forbidding environment deterred permanent settlement, offering only salt and reeds. Yet, this very geography would become its greatest strength, laying the foundation for a maritime empire. In the 5th and 6th centuries, as barbarian hordes engulfed the collapsing Western Roman Empire, desperate refugees sought sanctuary in these isolated, marshy islands of the Venetian Lagoon. From Roman cities like Padua, they brought invaluable ancient knowledge and a will to survive. They adapted, building humble fishing villages and communities dictated by the powerful tides. The lagoon offered formidable natural defense. Invaders found their armies swallowed by treacherous waters. Naval assaults were thwarted by shallow, shifting channels known only to the local mariners. This insular world, protected by its inaccessibility, fostered ingenuity and fierce self-reliance. From these humble origins, a grand vision emerged, not merely to survive, but to profoundly thrive. The challenges were immense. How do you build cities where solid ground barely exists? How do you forge vibrant trade routes through an intricate maze of waterways? The answer lay in an unprecedented feat of engineering, transforming weakness into unparalleled advantage. This impossible city, born of necessity, would defy logic to become a dominant maritime power. Its existence, a profound testament to human will, innovation, and an unwavering connection to the sea. The Venetian Lagoon, a shallow expanse of shifting mudflats, presented an unparalleled engineering paradox. How could a city of such grandeur, with its soaring palaces, rise from this unstable, seemingly impossible foundation? The solution was ingenious and monumental. An entire unseen forest buried deep beneath the waves. For centuries, countless ships transported millions of sturdy timber piles, predominantly resilient larch and dense oak, from the forests of distant Istria and the snowy Dolomites. These ancient trees, carefully selected for their strength, journeyed across the Adriatic, destined for a hidden purpose. Once in the lagoon, skilled laborers, equipped with rudimentary yet effective pile drivers, began the painstaking work. Thousands of men, in rhythmic unison, hammered massive logs, one by one, deep into the compressed clay and sand of the seabed. This laborious process continued until the piles reached solid ground, often many meters below the surface. The result was an astonishing, dense, interlocking matrix of wooden columns. Critically, submerged below the water table, cut off from oxygen, the wood underwent natural petrification. Instead of decaying, it transformed over centuries into a stone-hard, virtually indestructible foundation. Upon this submerged forest, layers of Istrian stone, brick, and waterproof mortar were meticulously laid, creating a robust, stable platform. This invisible groundwork became the bedrock upon which Venice's iconic architecture would stand for a millennium. It was a colossal feat of human ingenuity, transforming an uninhabitable wetland into a resilient global power. An empire built, literally, upon the strength of wood and the mastery of water. From its improbable beginnings in a lagoon, Venice understood a fundamental truth. Wealth flowed where goods flowed. And in the medieval world, nothing fueled demand, and thus profits, like spices. These were not mere flavorings. They were luxury, medicine, and status symbols, commanding astronomical prices. Venice positioned itself as the indispensable intermediary. Animated trade routes across the Mediterranean and beyond reveal a complex network. From the distant shores of India and Southeast Asia, precious cargoes of peppercorns, cinnamon, clothes, and nutmeg began an arduous overland journey across deserts and mountains, passing through numerous hands. They converged at key entrepôts like Alexandria in Egypt or Beirut on the Levant coast. Here, Venetian merchants, with their astute negotiation skills and vast capital, were waiting. Their formidable fleet of galleys, purpose-built for speed and capacity, secured these precious commodities, loading them with meticulous care. Through the perilous waters of the Mediterranean, often battling storms or evading pirates, these ships sailed back to the Grand Canal, bringing the exotic East directly to Europe's doorstep. The Rialto market became the beating heart of this global exchange, a cacophony of languages and currencies where fortunes were made and lost. By controlling the flow of spices, Venice didn't just participate in trade, it dominated it, forging an economic machine that fueled its rise to unparalleled power and funded the artistic splendor that still defines the city today. It was a monopoly built on daring voyages, meticulous logistics, and strategic foresight. Yet Venice's genius extended far beyond trade routes. It lay within the formidable walls of the Venetian arsenal, a sprawling complex that was, in essence, the world's first true factory. Here, centuries before the Industrial Revolution, Venice revolutionized naval construction. This wasn't merely a shipyard, it was an industrial marvel, employing thousands of skilled workers, carpenters, blacksmiths, rope makers, and sail weavers. Its sheer scale was unparalleled, a city within a city dedicated to maritime power. What truly set the arsenal apart was its pioneering use of standardization. Unlike other nations, which built ships bespoke, Venice engineered vessels from interchangeable components. Ribs, planks, masts, all were designed to uniform specifications. This innovation allowed for a radical departure from traditional shipbuilding. Instead of a single team constructing one ship from start to finish, the arsenal operated on a groundbreaking assembly line principle. Imagine, a ship's hull would be towed through a series of specialized docks, each station adding specific parts. One dock for framing, another for planking, then rigging, and finally armament. The speed was astonishing. Legend claims a fully equipped galley could be launched in mere hours if necessity demanded. This unprecedented efficiency provided Venice with an unassailable strategic advantage. During times of war, the arsenal could rapidly replace losses or launch entire fleets. This capacity to project power, born from industrial foresight, solidified Venice's dominance as the undisputed master of the Mediterranean. The Venetian arsenal wasn't just a place where ships were built. It was a testament to human ingenuity, a prototype for the modern factory, and a cornerstone of Venice's improbable rise to empire. Wealthy Venice, by the late 12th century, had vast ambitions. The Fourth Crusade presented a unique chance. In 1202, thousands of French knights, crusaders needing Holy Land transport, arrived. They critically lacked funds. Elderly, cunning Doge Enrico Dandolo saw a strategic opportunity. Venice offered its formidable fleet, but at a high price. Dandolo proposed a diversion. Crusaders would help Venice take Zara, a rival Adriatic port. Despite papal excommunication, the knights agreed. Zara fell swiftly. Dandolo's true prize lay east. Exiled Alexios IV promised wealth and religious unity if restored to Constantinople's throne. This was the irresistible lure. Venice's treasury swelled, Byzantium, its primary rival, neutralized. The Crusader fleet, Venice's instrument, sailed for Constantinople. In 1204, the imperial capital fell to combined forces. The city suffered a brutal sack, treasures plundered. Venice secured vast riches, territories, claiming 3/8 of Byzantium, forging its Stato d'Amar. This cynical Venetian masterstroke crippled Byzantium, altered Mediterranean power, and paved the way for new empires. While Venice built its empire through audacious engineering and commercial might, its true genius lay in its political architecture. The Serenissima crafted a government unlike any other, specifically designed to resist the perils of absolute power. At its apex stood the Doge, elected for life. Yet his authority was meticulously curtailed. He was a figurehead, a symbol of continuity, not an autocrat. His powers were bound by an intricate web of councils. The Great Council, or Maggior Concilio, comprised thousands of patricians, the city's noble families. This vast body held ultimate legislative power, diffusing decision-making across a broad elite. From it emerged the Senate, a smaller assembly responsible for foreign policy, finance, and war. This tier brought efficiency, yet remained accountable to the larger patrician class. Then came the formidable Council of Ten, a secretive, powerful body tasked with maintaining state security and rooting out corruption. Its swift justice ensured no individual, not even the Doge, could undermine the Republic. Every official, from clerk to Doge, was subject to rigorous oversight and term limits. This system, refined over centuries, was a masterclass in checks and balances. It fostered stability, preventing the feuds and struggles that plagued other city-states. It ensured the empire served the Republic, never a single ruler. This intricate dance of power allowed Venice to flourish for 1,000 years, a testament to its unique political foresight. Beyond the confines of its impossible lagoon, Venice projected its formidable power across the vast blue expanse of the Mediterranean. This was the birth of the Stato da Mar, the State of the Sea, a sprawling, decentralized maritime empire unlike any other. From the Adriatic's northern reaches, Venetian influence steadily expanded, not through territorial conquest of mainland empires, but through strategic acquisition of islands, port cities, and coastal strongholds. Each new outpost became a vital node in its intricate trade network. Key among these were the fertile island of Crete, secured in 1205, a breadbasket and naval base. The strategic stronghold of Corfu, guarding the mouth of the Adriatic, and later the rich prize of Cyprus, acquired through political maneuvering and military might. The Cycleres, including Naxos, fell under Venetian noble families, establishing powerful ducal states that paid homage to the Serenissima. These islands served as crucial waypoints, providing fresh water, provisions, and safe harbors for Venice's massive merchant fleets. Venetian galleys, swift and heavily armed, patrolled these sea lanes, ensuring the uninterrupted flow of lucrative commodities. They protected convoys from piracy and projected force against rival powers, cementing Venice's reputation as the undisputed mistress of the waves. This empire wasn't built on vast tracts of land, but on the unyielding logic of the sea. Control of choke points, naval supremacy, and the network of fortified trading posts defined its boundaries. It was an empire measured in nautical miles and the weight of gold-laden cargoes. The Stato da Mar was a testament to Venetian ingenuity and relentless commercial ambition. It transformed the Mediterranean into a Venetian lake, an artery pumping wealth and influence directly into the heart of the Doge's Republic, defining its golden age. Even as new global trade routes emerged, bypassing the Mediterranean, the echoes of Venice's maritime dominion would continue to resonate, a legacy forged by water and an indomitable will to navigate, control, and ultimately master the sea. For centuries, Venice defied geography, building an empire that thrived on control of trade routes. But as the 15th century waned, two seismic shifts began to erode its foundations, threatening the Serenissima's dominance. First, the relentless expansion of the Ottoman Empire. In 1453, Constantinople, the ancient gateway to the east, fell to Sultan Mehmed II. This wasn't merely territorial, it choked Venice's vital overland trade routes. Ottoman power surged across the Balkans and the eastern Mediterranean, forcing Venice into costly, draining wars to defend its outposts and secure access to the Levant. The ancient Silk Road, once a conduit for Venetian wealth, now passed through lands hostile to its interests. Yet an even greater challenge unfolded on the distant Atlantic horizon. Far to the west, the ambitious Portuguese embarked on their age of discovery. Driven to bypass Venetian and Mamluk middlemen, Vasco da Gama in 1498 successfully rounded the Cape of Good Hope, forging a direct sea route to India. This audacious voyage shattered Venice's cherished spice monopoly. Suddenly, goods from the east could reach Europe without touching the Mediterranean, without passing through Venetian warehouses. The impact was devastating. Spice prices plummeted as Portuguese ships laden directly from their source offered cheaper alternatives. The center of global trade began a definitive shift from the enclosed Mediterranean to the vast open Atlantic. Venice, once the indispensable intermediary, found itself sidelined, a majestic but bypassed relic of an earlier economic order. Its strategic advantage dissolved, leaving its future uncertain. The tides of history, much like the waters surrounding the city, were turning. Yet even as new trade winds bypassed the Adriatic, Venice's legacy transcended economics. The immense wealth from its watery empire wasn't just hoarded, it was invested, transforming the city into an unparalleled cultural jewel. From the opulent Doge's palace, a testament to civic power, to St. Mark's Basilica's shimmering mosaics echoing Byzantium, every edifice spoke of Venetian triumph. Artists like Bellini and Titian, funded by merchant princes, pushed Renaissance art, creating masterpieces that still captivate centuries later. They didn't just paint, they chronicled the city born of the sea. The canals, once arteries of commerce, became avenues of breathtaking beauty, lined with palazzi adorned with frescoes and intricate stonework. This city, built on improbable foundations, became a living canvas, a fusion of East and West, its unique aesthetic echoing global currents. It was a defiant statement of enduring power, carved in stone and painted in vibrant hues, asserting that even as mercantile dominance waned, its cultural radiance would never dim. Venice reminds us that true empires leave behind more than just trade routes. They forge enduring identities, shape artistic movements, and leave architectural wonders that resonate across time. What marvels, born from unexpected foundations, will our era build to inspire future generations? The Serenissima, the most serene republic, beckons us to consider.